August 25th, believe it or not. And we're all still here, August 25th. Um, it's only Tuesday, but I'm looking forward to the weekend. And the post office, what else could we possibly talk about? We could talk about all the other things that everybody else is talking about. Um, well, one of the things that people are talking about is the post office. I mean, because what else could be so incredibly funny? I mean, really. Here you have an institution where something like 600,000 people work. People, of course, in every state, in every town, an enormous organization, one of the greatest organizations ever put together by humanity is the post office, the United States Post Office. They move hundreds of millions of pieces of mail every year to every single person in this country and around the world. And what's unbelievably hilarious is you take this institution that is in the Constitution. Benjamin Franklin, I believe, was the very first Postmaster General. And you take the incredible tradition and history of this institution, and you're Donald Trump, or you're one of the Republicans, and you want to destroy this thing. So how do you do it? Because if you allow it to work, especially in the election that's coming, there are so many people who are scared of, and rightfully so, scared of going to vote, and they don't want to do anything public because they may get infected. So you do vote by mail, which has been happening for years and years and years. Some reports as far back as the Civil War. And, oh God. And so what do you do to stop it? How do you screw it up? Well, you do what's the easiest thing to do. You get somebody who you can trust, somebody who's given you huge amounts of money because they want to kiss your ass and they want to get favors back and make money on you. And so you get this guy, DeJoy, who is a complete and utter political mule, asshole, to put it bluntly. Gigantic donor to the Republican Party and to Donald Trump, and has absolutely no background in the post office or any of its workings, anything. Doesn't know any, doesn't have any history and relationships with the post office and their inner workings. To actually put him in as director of an organization of 500,000 to 600,000 people and one of the most important institutions in a democracy would be kind of lunatic. Like, I guess about any second grader would figure that out. So no, but this is why this is so hilarious, is because now you stick this guy in, and within seconds of him being put in, people start calling their senators in every single state, saying all of a sudden that the mail is slow. Gee, what could that possibly be happening? I mean, it's hilarious. It's funny. Because this moron, I should say, he's not a moron. He's doing, obviously, what he was told to do, which was destroy the post office. And he started doing it within seconds of him sitting down in his office. And within seconds, people were calling up all over the country, and from May to July, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands actually, of people contacting their representative or their senator. It's on the record. And why was that happening? Well, because he happened to fire. I mean, why not? To make things better, you want to fire all of the experienced managers and directors within the company. So that's what he does. He fires all of the experienced managers and directors that are in the post office, about 20 to 30 of them, if not more, and he fires them all, lets them all go. So there goes the continuity of the corporation itself is destroyed. The historical continuity is destroyed, and the experience is destroyed. Getting rid of all the managers nationwide. And then, of course, as we all know, he gets rid of all of the gigantic, not all, but a huge portion, strategically placed, by the way. He gets rid of many of the large machines that take care of millions of pieces of mail every day. Well, that'll make things better, right? I mean, again, you got to go along with the joke, you know. Well, it's not so funny, it turns out, because people's medicine is now being held up by not only days, but by weeks. And so people are dying. It's murder. And he should be put in prison for murder, because that's what it is. Not only that, he should be put in prison for a felony of interfering with the mail of the United States. That is straight out, and he should be put in prison immediately. And why the Democratic House has not done that is itself a crime against the people of the United States. This institution is enumerated within the Constitution. This is not a joke. This institution is different than any other institution in the United States. People on the right or the left can talk about it all they want and make up all these kind of weird theories that satisfies their political agenda. But this organization saves lives, helps democracy work on a daily basis, and employs 600,000 people, which means probably 3 million people are dependent on it for their paychecks and to bring the food home, put a roof over their head. Now, that's why it's not so funny. I watched the hearings both on Friday and on Monday in full. And to tell you the truth, I've lived a long time. There are a lot of things that have made me sick over the years. One war after another, from Vietnam, where I saw friends of mine come back in body bags, people who lived on my block come back in body bags at the age of 18, and watched all the stupid wars in between then and now, every single one of them. And I got to tell you, this thing that's going on with the post office is right among the most criminal acts ever done in the United States. And that the president and this criminal who he put in charge of it, the fact that they're still walking around free, that's a crime. It's a crime against the people of this country. And how the Democrats can just wag their fingers, because that's all I saw. I saw one or two kind of get, animated a little bit. But to tell you the truth, I'm not impressed. by, they put this guy Lynch, who's is a joke, as a Democrat, because he's all upset that he's got somebody running against him. So that's why he went crazy on Monday. It's a show. It's all show. There's no votes. They voted to give him $25 billion. Well, guess what? Big deal. Guess what? The Republicans in the Senate aren't going to vote for it, and the president's going to veto it. So in the end, it doesn't matter. So unless the Democrats actually go to the election fighting for unions, fighting for families, fighting for better pay, and fighting for the post office from now until election day, as if they really mean it, okay, it's another story. But I don't believe it. And we'll see what happens. I'm a Democrat, and I'm waiting for the Democrats to wake up. I'm tired of this middle-of-the-road baloney, watching our country get destroyed by the Republican Party, being taken apart by the Republican Party. I'm sick of it. I've been sitting watching this from the day Ronald Reagan was elected till today, watching the Republican Party take apart this country. It is nauseating already. Democrats sitting on the fence, sitting for Biden, sitting for this guy who is as right-wing as any Republican is nauseating. Sick of it. I'm waiting for a Democrat to stand up and to actually fight. I thought that was Bernie Sanders. I can't get into Bernie Sanders' head. I know his heart's in the right place, but I would have never caved in the way he did. He caved in, and he had some incredibly bad advice, but not all his fault. But he caved in. The Democratic Party has 70 days to get their backsides together, because they're in the midst of actually losing this election. They have a chance if they actually fought for something. The Democrats actually fought for something. If they fought for immigration and human rights, if they fought to end these stinking wars, if they fought for cutting the defense budget, if they fought for the green energy deal, all the way, there should be no fossil fuel cars in this country. In 24 months, fossil fuel in autos should be outlawed. We have the technology to do it. Everybody should be driving a car that has zero fossil fuel. Could be done in weeks. And the amount of people that are put to work would be millions. You wouldn't be the homes in Detroit would go from 10,000 to 300,000 overnight. The values would skyrocket if the Democrats got off their butt and started to actually be for something. What they're for is collecting paychecks from their donors. There's a handful of them that actually are trying to do something. And it's not enough. Not enough. So it's not a joke. I'm listening to NPR. Tired of listening to the crap that's on NPR, as they put on Republican after Republican interviewing them with make-believe interviews. It's really sickening. Really sickening. There is simply there's nothing that is happening. There's nothing that is uh, stopping the green energy, the environmental issue. There's nothing being worked on. Nothing being worked on climate change. There's nothing happening. This Congress is doing zero. They're not meeting. They're not even meeting when there's millions of people about and have already lost their jobs, have already, or they're about to lose the table in their kitchen. They're about to lose their apartments and their homes and their cars, and the families are going to disintegrate. Small businesses have been shut down. Millions of small businesses, millions have already closed. Millions of small businesses have already closed. Not hundreds of thousands, millions. How do I know? I've been in banking for 40 years. I have a political science degree. I've worked for 2 congressmen. I've been elected to the Massachusetts Democratic Convention 4 times. I still work in a bank today. I am a small business underwriter. I've been underwriting small business loans in this country for almost 40 years. And uniquely, I've also worked for the Small Business Administration doing disaster underwriting in Puerto Rico, doing floods and hurricane work in San Juan and Puerto Rico, all over Puerto Rico, all over the Virgin Islands, and all over the Northeast, and what they used to call Region 1, which was the Mid-Atlantic and New England. So I was underwriting loans in the New York, New Jersey region and up in Massachusetts. And actually underwrote, I actually wrote one flood loan up in Maine, Lewiston, Maine, back in 1987. I've been writing loans for a long time, and I've seen a lot of garbage over my lifetime. I have never seen anything like this. This guy beats Nixon for lying 1,000 to 1. We got rid of Nixon. We got rid of his attorney general, that stinking jerk off Mitchell, another criminal, and his vice president, Spiro Agnew, another criminal, and Haldeman and Ehrlichman, all those guys in the 70s. Got rid of them. But we can't get rid of guys who have done 1,000 times worse. What Trump is doing is not only destroying the post office, he's destroying the education department of this country. He's destroying HUD, Housing and Urban Development. He's destroying it. Worse off, he's destroying the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, all for the profit of oil companies, which are poisoning you and me. I hope every Republican chokes on it, because that's what they're voting for. And every Democrat along with them who vote for a middle-of-the-road candidate, choke on it, because that's what you're voting for. Don't get upset. That's what you want. You want that. You want pollution. That's what you're voting for. So don't be upset with me. You're voting for it. That's what you support. You're not supporting clean energy, clean air, clean water. You don't want clean air or clean water. It's not what you're voting for. You're voting for corruption. That's what you're voting for. That's what you want for your family. That's what you're voting for. That's what you want. So that's my little rant. for today. Thanks. See you next time.